Welcome in, folks, to the Reset Room. Good evening. Happy Thursday. This is Thankful Thursday. I am Rhonda, your career reset coach. Oh, excited to be here. What's a career reset coach? I'm sure you've heard that. Like, what is that? Pretty simple. Hey, let me get it right. Lay Noonan. Hopefully I got it right. Welcome in. Hey, governess, welcome in. What's a career reset coach? Pretty simple. I help people change jobs, change careers, level up, and get paid. Pedro, welcome in. Hey, Sweet Pea, welcome in. This is our place where we talk about all things career and life resets because they both actually tend to mirror each other. Generally, if there's changes and things you want to make in life and or career, they tend to sort of feed information to each other to help you make better decisions. So excited for today. Have a lot going on here. Governess, can you see the shopping cart? This is my first time testing out, probably one of my second time testing out a Shoppable Live. And let me know if in the corner you can see the orange little shopping cart because I can't see it on my end. Hey, Sergio, welcome in. Okay, perfect. So yeah, I am also testing out a Shoppable Live today. There's some products in there that we're gonna definitely talk about when we talk about our goals. Losa Tucker, welcome in. Thank you for joining. We are going to talk about goals 2026. And a couple of the books that are in the showcase I definitely want to talk about because they have really been instrumental in just moving me forward. I'll sort of start with some foundational career resetting, life resetting. Johanna, welcome in. Resetting things and sort of pillars is what I call them. And they've really sort of the foundation of making change that I've discovered over, I've been resetting my life for about 30 years or so now. And just, have developed a system that actually works. Hey, Francisco. Hey, everyone. Welcome in. Hey, Victoria, welcome in. And so, I'm going to start with sort of those pillars, and they're three, and they're pretty simple. Like the first one is recognizing where you are and what you want today. And it changes, right? It changes from year to year. It can change from month to month, 5 years from now. Thank you for the heart, me, Victoria. It can look just very different. So really, to be able to start to identify what you want and where you're moving forward with, you have to really recognize that. You got to sort of think about that. And then once you recognize, okay, this is what I want professionally and maybe even in your life, you have to really question and assess, does the environment you're in, whether that's the job, the company, even personally, is that the life and relationship? Thank you for the fast gear, Victoria. Does your life and relationship support that? Sometimes it does. Hey, Murloc, welcome in. Warlock, sorry, welcome in. Thank you for the best cheers, Victoria. And sometimes it does. And guess what? Sometimes it doesn't. And when it doesn't automatically mean that we need to like blow our lives up and start over, but it's data, it's information to lead us. Hey, baby. Hey, Jess Mom, welcome in. That's my TikTok daughter, y'all. She is a wonderful live host. And we're talking about today is what I call Transformation Thursday. And I'm just going to share a quick story about Jess while she's here before she moves on. She might be bopping around these TikTok streets, but she came into one of my very first lives and she had went live twice and no one was in her room. Hey, Tony, welcome in. And she was and she said in the chat that she was quitting. And we were like, oh no, like there are no quitters up in here. We're not doing that. And we basically stopped our live so that she could go live. And we would sit in her room and a couple of us joined and sat in her room and she went live. And this was the thing that was so beautiful about it. I was talking with her at first. I was in a little bubble. I came up on the panel just so she could like engage in a conversation. At one point, I put myself on mute and she didn't even know it. And I stopped talking, but she kept flowing. She had gotten into her zone and she was just rolling. And she's like, Miss Rhonda, are you here? And then I took myself off of mute and I said, you don't need me no more. You got this. She has been going live since, y'all. She has a mini viral video. She is hilarious. She sings. She is entertaining. She is doing all the things. And yes, and she has, oh, thank you, Jess. Those best gear. And yeah, and that is just, again, when you believe in yourself and what you can do. Thank you, Jess. See, boy. That's my TikTok bestie. All the family is here today. And Miss Victoria too. It's just so amazing, the community that I have found here on TikTok. And that's just something that I love you too, baby. I didn't, expect to find. Like, I just didn't. And just realizing that is just really the foundation. And that even goes into, I did a piece of content today because someone had responded, and it's so interesting, like how the world, thank you for the hand hearts, how the world works. I had did a piece of content, and it was basically talking about, like, we're getting ready for 2026. Thank you for those hand hearts. And it was talking about writing your no more list. Like, what are you not going to continue to tolerate? Hey, bestie. For you to pop in. I know you'll be going on live later. Oh, and for those of you in the room, I love Mish, and that's my homeroom. Mish Stories. She's having a birthday battle tonight at 8:00, which is why I came on a little early so that I can be there to help. I gotta support my girl. Yeah, so I came on a little early to do that. And again, community, right? But thinking about goals, it's like you gotta know where you're going and what you sort of want, and really thinking about that. So that's going back to the pillars that I was talking about, just sort of recognizing where you are, and more importantly, what are you prepared and ready to make a change with? So like I was talking about the piece of content and the no more list is, again, what things do you don't want going forward in 2026? And then it was the becoming her list. Like, what are the things that, you want to achieve to become the best version of yourself? A person had responded to a comment, and she wrote that, I try to do this every year and my family and friends derail me. And interestingly enough, I was going to do a reply with video to the comment, and she erased the comment. And so that to me it just spoke volumes, because I think a lot of times we say something out loud and we have a vision and a thought and opinion, and then, saying it out loud makes it real. And the comment was gone. And so that to me, so I did the content though anyway, and basically talking about when others aren't there to support you, like a family, and we talk about fear a lot here, right? A lot of times when family and friends or your circle or whoever those closest to you don't support you, it's change, it's evolution. And that is what scares them. This is their fear. And we can't get caught up in their fear and in their feelings. And it could be fear based on a lot of things. And I don't think it's not often malicious either. It's like you're changing. What does that mean for them? Like, will you no longer want to be with them? Will you be moving in different circles than them? Will your relationship with them change? Lots of different things. And I have shared in this chat many, many times, like something that my ex-husband said to me when I decided to start my own business. Right, Victoria? Exactly. He said the worst thing he could have ever encouraged me to do was to go back to school, because then I elevated. And in his mind, I didn't need him anymore. And I was like, well, don't you want me to want you more than I need you? And guess what? It wasn't. So his need for who I needed to be was different than who I wanted to be. And it was time to go. And right, Jess, like that just really happens. Like, and what I said in the piece of content today is we got to stop talking. Okay, Victoria. Victoria said she had the same girl. We had the same ex-husband. Okay, and all their twins are running around. But seriously though, like we have to decide what we want and what we're prepared to work for and get in spite of, and stop talking. Like, you can't share everything with everybody. Everybody is not going to be supportive of you. They may love you and they may have been your BFF since childhood, but if you start moving differently, oh, thank you for making me a princess, bestie. But you start moving in different circles, like it is not comfortable for them at all. It's sad. I've had some friends that have said the little, oh, you doing your little TikTok thing? Ain't nothing little over here, boo. And exactly, Jess. And sometimes we're going to keep moving and we're gonna have to leave some people behind. But I don't talk about anything that I'm doing. I just move. And your movements and your actions will show them sort of everything. So definitely that's just some food for thought. We're going to talk a little bit about that, but I definitely wanted to share that. And like I said, it saddened me when I saw that her comment, she had deleted it. And I was like, oh man, because that just says a whole lot. Like, why did she delete it? Was she fearful that somebody she knows might see it? And then she sort of spoken that truth, but I did the content anyway. So I'm hoping and praying that she actually, that it it finds up in her, what is that? The FYF. And that she actually sees it. God told me this earlier. I know, Jess, and it's real. Like, we have to stop talking and just move and just do, because everybody is not. It is not definitely in our corner. So thank you. For those of you that are new, my name is Rhonda. I'm a career reset coach. What does that mean? I help people change jobs, change careers, elevate at work, get promoted, and get paid. We have been talking about all sorts of resets, life, career. For me, this is one where you all get to see live and in color as a new content creator and new live host. So I'm learning and sharing what I learn with others too. And like today, I got this whole shoppable. Oh, let me tell you all about the lesson. Here's the lesson for today. Be careful when you start getting those free samples, because there's a clock on the free samples, y'all. So there's a product in the showcase now. It's the pink. It's the female gummies is what I'm gonna call it. And what happened is I got the sample right before I went on the cruise. And so then I had to go upstate to be with family. So like the days and the clock don't stop, y'all. Okay, the clock's still ticking. And I got the like 3-day warning message today, and I said, okay, it'll be a shoppable live. So a reminder about free samples. So you have to do one of two things with free samples. You have to produce some content, which is doing a video. And let me tell you, I tried to be slick and do the video, and it did not work. Okay. Thank you, Victoria. So I watch a couple creators that are really well. Miss Matthew is one who does shoppables really, really, really well. She does shoppable lives really well. So I watch her a lot. So with the free samples, you have to, within 14 days, you either have to produce some content, which is making a video showing the product. And I've done that like 2 or 3 times with products. Or you have to actually have a shoppable live where you have it in your cart and it has to stay there for 10 minutes, which is easy to do. Like if you're on live, even an hour, on live 30 minutes, you fulfill the goal. But that clock is really ticking. And so what will happen if you don't actually fulfill the requirement, then your account gets flagged. And it's my understanding that they will turn off your ability for shoppables and to even have a showcase. So just be careful. Like everyone's like, oh, free samples, but there's some work you got to do with them too. So definitely have that in mind. Okay, Jess, what's your question? Do we have to have the products when we do the live? So no. If you pin the product on the screen, you have to physically have it in your hand. And I'm not home right now. So I don't have any of the, I'm going to say I don't have any of the products. I have a couple of the products that are in the cart with me, but I don't have the gummies with me. So long as it's still in the cart, you're fine. But if you want to pin it and like showcase it, like if you really, this is the item that you really want to sell, like say, for example, maybe the commission's really high on a product. Like if a commission is $5 or so that you're going to earn on a product and you want to highlight it, then you would pin it, but you also need to have it in your hand so that you can show it, and talk to it and do your commercial where you're advertising, the product. Okay, so you can do a shoppable live with it. Yes. So what, like all the items that are in the cart right now are all from my showcase. So when you go into setting up your live, when you know how like when you says go live and then you got all your menu options, it's in the option that's called business. If you hit that business tab, the very first item says TikTok shop. And then you tap on that and then you'll see an item that says add product. So then you can pick items. You can actually, this is interesting too. You can pick items from your showcase, but you can also pick other items. Hey, Manjay, welcome in. But you can also add other items. So basically, like I was only trying to add in 6 today. And then an alert came on the screen that says, shoppable lives with 10 items or more. Just think about, we're right. Remember, this is an algorithm. So think about this information. Shoppable lives with 10 products or more get 35% more viewers. So what does that say? That says to me, if you have at least 10 products in your shopping cart, that algorithm is going to push your live out more. You can, Victoria, you can select the whole showcase. I have been, like Miss Matthew has 99 plus items in her cart every time she goes live. So yeah, you can load your whole showcase into your live. And so a couple things it does. For one, you get out more traction. I've been in rooms where maybe someone didn't have a shoppable live when they started and they added like 10 items. You will see the numbers, like the volume of the room, the numbers will bounce up. 20, 30, 40 people will come in the room because they're looking to shop. But if you're talking and teaching and doing other things, they're like, oh, they're not shopping. I'm not staying here. And then they move on. Right. So I did it today because I wanted to just fulfill my requirement on this one product that I have as a free item. So I did it today. But yeah, but maybe on a Saturday, Saturday shoppable Saturday. Maybe that I'll do like a true where you're doing like you're your own QVC. You just doing your thing. And truly like shopping the products and truly, because people, like I said, the first one, the algorithm, the more products, like it just said to me, that message said, the more products in your shoppable, the more traction you're going to get. Hey, Coach Kathy, welcome in. The more traction you're going to get. So think about that too. So, I haven't done a full shoppable live. Thank you for getting your heart me. I haven't done a full shoppable live, but I added these products because a couple of the books I am going to talk about, but I needed to add that other product in there too so I could fulfill my requirement. Coach Kathy, I'm talking about free samples and how you can get set up and caught out there if you're not wise. And we know that we got to be careful with those free samples. Hey Raquel, welcome in. So yeah, I have never pinned my showcase. Yeah, so it's pretty simple. When you're setting up the live, like I said, you have all those menu options. There's an option called business. Thank you, Raquel. Thank you, Main J, for the Fest Pops. There's a button, it's called business. And when you tap it, the very first option, there's two options there. Thank you for those kisses. I don't remember what the second one is, but the first one is TikTok Shop. And when you click it, you can add products from your showcase. Oh, you're watching from the boot camp. Oh, thank you, family. Level Up Squad in the house. Coach Kathy is another coach that I learned from. I talk about all my coaches all the time because I've learned so much in the 4 months from them. And she is a great coach, motivator, but she is going to give it to you tough love and give it to you straight. And she encourages her whole community to go live. So again, thank you for the heart me. If there are some folks in the room that are content creators and you have not gone live yet, push the button. Thank you, Raquel, for being a title gifter. Oh, yeah. Coach Kathy is doing a boot camp, and she is so determined for all of us to succeed. She actually came into my first live, y'all, and was giving me feedback during the live. Like, that's a real coach. I was doing my 10-minute interview for GQ because you have to record for 10 minutes. I think they sort of test you and see, like, okay, are they going to make some money off of us? I really think that's why you do it. So I was doing my first 10-minute and Coach Kathy came in and then someone had requested to co-host. And I was like, no, I'm trying to get through these 10 minutes. I was sweating bullets, just trying to get through the 10 minutes. And then this young lady requested again. So I accepted. Coach started messaging me right away. Do not bring people up on a panel when you're live. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So I'm trying to read her messages. I'm trying to concentrate to what's happening on the screen. Like, this is an interview because I know it's being recorded. All of our lives are recorded. Not sure if you all knew that, but all of our lives are recorded. So trying to still, stay in roll, if you will, and get through it. But when I later read her message, what she said is this, which was so valuable, is that if you bring someone up on a panel and they act a complete fool in your live, you can be responsible for that. So you just want to be careful about who you choose to co-host with, who you choose to, again, bring up on panels, because it's your live and you're ultimately responsible. So again, it's worth having coaches, guys, and learning from all the great creators on this platform. And it's so interesting. Like, I found them all at different times, but it was at the right and perfect times. And I have learned so much from all of them. So, I've been talking a lot, but it's all good stuff. For those of you in the room that know Mish Stories, I don't know if Main J, if you're still here, but Mish's birthday is today, and she is doing her birthday battle at 8 o'clock. So in case you want to, come pop in and show her some love. I got on a little early so that I can free up myself to do that. But today I wanted for us to start thinking about goals. And I wanted to share sort of how I have managed to thank you for the follow. How I have managed to just achieve a lot. And I think to people on the outside, it looks like I'm doing a million things and moving like a million miles a minute, but I'm really not. It's just a great system that I have that I use. And for me, this is like the time of year. December is that time where I start to think about, okay, what do I want to accomplish? And when I think about goals, I don't think about necessarily the next year. I think about 2 to 3 years. And so the system I use, the book is in the showcase. It's called The 12-Week Year. If you've never heard of it, it is an amazing book and system. And this is how basically the short version is what they do is you basically look at every 12 months. Every 12 weeks as a year. So you're accelerating how fast you can truly achieve goals because you only have 12 weeks to do it. And it's not for the, it's not for the weak and the faint at heart. But if you're really driven and ready to achieve and have some solid goals, and, for me, like, I feel like I have a time clock. So I've shared I am 2 years away from retiring, at least from my 9 to 5. And there's some things I want to accomplish before that time. And so for me, I got the clock ticking. So I'm going to maximize the 12-week year. And I do this every year. So if you think about like how a year, there's 52 weeks in a year. So you have 4 cycles every year. And so when you're planning out 12 weeks, you're like, okay, so let me just give you one goal for me. One is brand deals, right? So I'm learning now how to actually execute. Hey, Brown Sugar, welcome in. Wait, is that Brown Sugar? There's so many Brown Sugars on here. Is that my cousin, Brown Sugar? Governess, is that our cousin? Or is that just there's so many Brown Sugars out here in the world? But like for me, one is brand deals, right? And that's the one of the goals that I'm going to attempt to conquer the first 12 weeks. Because I'm learning right now on how to do that, how to execute it. And it's so strategic too in thinking about even the content that we produce. And so, back to Mish Story, she gave a mini micro lesson on brand deals and talking about your content. Hey, Allie, welcome in. Your content should lend towards the brand deals that you're looking for, right? So I'm a career coach. So for me, like my content you may start to see more computers in my content, right? Like what things do I do in sort of my work? More technology. I'm talking a lot about AI, more systems related things, because I'm looking to attract brands like Dell, HP, Apple, the technology brands, right? So it's sort of, you think about that. Okay, you too, Sepoy. Yeah, researching brand deals. And like Sepoy is a travel. Hey, Jazzy, welcome in. Sepoy is a travel creator. So, she's going to be looking at, things like that. And like, even I just came off thank you, Jazzy, for the heart me. I just came off a celebrity cruise and I intentionally created a lot of content from the ship. Like I'm looking for a free trip, y'all. And I'm actually booking another trip for 2027, but like I'm going to create, and I still have so much content still in my phone to actually, thank you, Jazzy, for those fast pops, to do that. So really thinking about brand deals. So like I said, I'm learning about it. And then really with structuring the 12-week year, it's not just documenting what you want to do. That's part of it, but then the steps. And it's focused time. So something that I've learned and mastered is that basically at a minimum, you want 2 hours. If you can get a 3 hour block of time where you're doing nothing but focusing on one specific goal at a time, because y'all, multitasking, it is not real and it don't work. To truly conquer goals and truly make traction on what you're doing, you need a focused block of time. So if you can figure out a way to schedule that in your schedule and make that work, you will see substantial gains in that 12-week period, because 12 weeks is only 3 months. And so that's sort of how I'm looking at. I'm looking at brand deals as like my first 12. Number two, the second 12, I'm looking at expanding more of my consulting business that I do outside of TikTok, working with CEOs. So like I'm already starting to like develop my pitches, hiring people to do email pitching, to do phone calling. So it's truly focused effort. And that 12-week year book, and I'm gonna dive more into that next Tuesday because the book is at home, y'all, and I ain't there. But yeah, I'll be there next week. But it really structures that, again, that you can accomplish. Think about it. If you're truly looking at 12-week years, that means in 1 year, you can truly achieve the amount of effort and success in your goals that you would normally take you 4 years to do. And it's an amazing book. So like I said, I'm going to break down some content next week, and we're going to dive into that on Take Action Tuesday for sure. But just something to start thinking about, like, what are the things you want to do? And if TikTok is a place you're thinking about, there are 12 ways to monetize on the platform. And then there's numerous ways to monetize off of the platform. We've been talking about just AI and just the advances and changes with AI. And I shared yesterday or the day before that this one, of course, we all see AI changes, like we've been checking out ourselves in the grocery store since the pandemic. So that isn't really anything new. Something I saw that was new, and it was also not concerning, but it made me think like, okay, this thing is elevating faster and quicker. I just came off a cruise, and I was sharing with folks that we didn't scan our passports when we boarded the ship. We had to key in our passport number into like their portal, into the ship's portal, the cruise line's portal, before we sailed. But exiting the ship, where normally you would see customs and immigrations agents, there was no one. There were 4 computers, and you basically stood in front of the computer, similar to like this, and it was a facial recognition, and it flashed on the screen, immigration cleared. And so for me, that was very telling for a lot of reasons. If the federal government is now using AI to clear immigration, so think about just how sensitive that is, how important that, making sure that folks come into the country that are supposed to be here is. If that is now being managed by AI, like things that are happening in our everyday jobs, we're going to see big changes really, really fast. And we got to be ready. And we have to be ready and be prepared for that. So, we've been talking a lot about that and just thinking about, how do we function and how do we do that? If you can find it, hey, Clara, welcome in. If you can find on YouTube and on the internet, the documentary that Oprah did last year, 2024, it's AI in the Future of Us. It is worth a watch. Good to see you. It is definitely worth a watch because it talks about the jobs and what will jobs looks like in the future. Thank you for the heart, me. And in the interview, and even if you can't find the whole thing, see if you can find this clip. It's a clip of her and Bill Gates, and she's asking Bill, like, okay, with all these advances, thank you for those vest pops. With all the advances in technology, like what is the work world? What are jobs going to look like, in 3 to 5 years? And he basically says, and where? You mean like location? We're in America. This is America they were speaking about specifically. Jazzy, if you're asking like location, specifically in America, we're seeing just a lot of the AI changes taking over. Like I said, we've been seeing the grocery stores things for a while. Now we're seeing, like, we're checking ourselves out. Like in my pharmacy, I checked myself out at the prescription counter, which I thought was interesting too, because I mean, we're talking about medications. But yeah, I checked myself in. Someone handed me the prescription, and yeah. Oh, the interview. You should be able to Google it. It originally aired on Hulu, but I think you probably can pick it up on YouTube. But it's AI and the Future of Us is the title. So it's definitely worth taking a look at. And so when she asks him, okay, well, you know, with all this technology, which sounds great, like what's going to happen to the work world? And he's physically uncomfortable by the question. He starts sort of fidgeting a bit. And he basically says that like most jobs will shrink to 3 days a week. And so in theory, we're like, yay. But then when we really think about it, hello, hey user, welcome in. We think about this. Okay, if we're only working 3 days a week, who's paying us for the other 2 days a week that we work now? And it's basically nobody. Like technology advances will shrink jobs. So if you think about what AI does and who it's for, right, if our number of days are shrinking 3 days, guess what? Our pay is going to shrink too. And so if you think about what AI does, AI replaces task-related jobs. So like the supermarket, checking out the supermarket. Recently, I shared, like I traveled in an airport. What used to be rows of ticket counters and ticket agents are no more. It's a room full of kiosks. So like I said, I've traveled recently a lot. And so again, I put my own ID into this computer and it spits it back out to me. It asks me how many bags am I checking? I tell how many. I'm printing out my own luggage tags and I'm putting my own luggage tags on my bags. And this time, what airline did I fly to? Florida, JetBlue. I actually weighed my own bag first, and you could tell it whether your bag was over or underweight. Oh, Japan is like that now. And yeah, and we know that Japan, as far as technology, have always been light years ahead of other countries. Yeah, and like I said, if the federal government is entrusting immigration clearance to a computer, to AI, we know that like the everyday companies, like this thing is probably moving faster than we think. Lex Clara said, it's crazy how we are doing our own check-in. And exactly, we don't work there. The first time, we don't work for them. The first time I experienced that in the airport is that I flew in September and I was flying out Delta. And it was the first time that I actually had to put my own luggage tag on my bag. And I was like, wait a minute. And so what used to be ticket counters were just 2 or 3 people that truly weighed the bags, basically to make sure if you needed to give Delta some more money. And you know, this time I flew different airlines. Same thing though. You are weighing, like I said, I put my own ID in the computer. It scanned it. I put in my bags. I put my own tickets on my own bags, walked them over and gave them to the folks. So those were like 10, 12 jobs that are no longer there. Hey boy, Lorna, welcome in. Thank you for the heart me. That just don't exist anymore with the technology changes in AI. So, you know, this isn't about scaring. This is about preparing. Like we need to be prepared to think about what other ways what other skills, knowledge, information that we have that we can sell, that we can market. Fast food has AI and ask when you can go through. Absolutely. Like McDonald's has been doing the kiosks for a long time. And more restaurants are starting to think about doing that because, again, it's saving them money, you know, and it's resources, you know, like that's a task related job that now a computer can do. Yeah, I don't like it either, Claire. Claire says, I don't appreciate when I go in shopping with big groceries and then I've got to do it all. Exactly. And you know, and then part of this too, like a lot of stores, you're checking yourself out and you bagging your own groceries. I'm like, oh, you are doing it all by yourself, which is outrageous. But that's sort of how this world is. Hey, that boy mom, welcome in. That's how the world is sort of working. And we just got to get prepared, folks. We got to get prepared. So we've been talking a lot about that, about creating. We started with digital products. We've talked a little bit about just the technology piece and thinking about like even TikTok. We've done a couple, you know, creator chats and each one teach one, because we're all at different stages of this journey and learning, from different folks and just sharing the information, which a creator asked me about hosting another co-host conversation on Sunday. So if any of you are definitely interested, my bestie Sepoy, if maybe we could get two other creators to just sort of talk about their journey, sharing information, sharing our lessons learned. And Sepoy, is Sunday a good day for you? I didn't even ask you. I am traveling back home on Saturday. I could probably do Saturday evening though. I don't even know if I had a chance to tell you, bestie, but I had to travel. Okay, Sunday. So we'll figure out a time. But I'll send out a message to some other folks too and see if they want to do that. So like TikTok for me is one of those ways, and thinking about like brand deals is another one of those ways. And so I'm exploring sort of that over the next 2 weeks, the rest of this year, thinking about, okay, what are the things I want to do? What are other ways outside of my 9 to 5 that I can generate income? I talked a little bit last, I think it was earlier this week. Some industries, and Endeavory Jobs is different, of course, right? They're using the term fractional, which means like, think about it, it's a fraction. It's a piece of the whole. So in HR, which is my dominant field, there's a lot of like fractional HR positions, which basically means like they need to hire you for maybe 5 hours a week to do a specific thing. Thank you, Clara, for encouraging folks to TAP on that screen. So even maybe think about your field, and maybe even do some Google research and see if fractional positions, because again, you probably could pick up a side gig, 5-10 hours a week, doing something that you already know how to do. So it's not a heavy lift, but again, it's another way for you to generate some additional income to just, keep it going. Like, we just got to get prepared, because the work world is changing. Like every week I read more and more information just about the advances in AI and just how, and then just not just AI, but just in technology in general. Like that hasn't changed. Like technology has been replacing jobs for decades, and that's not going anywhere. That's not going away. So we just want to be prepared as best we can so that we don't get left out there, and in the AI in the Future of Us documentary. So as Bill answers the question, like, jobs are going to shrink down to 3 days a week. And then Oprah says, well, how are people going to make it? Like, how are they going to survive? And he says something like, oh, well, the government will have to step in with subsidies. No, y'all, we know we don't want that, right? They can't even get along to go to work and show up on time. And so we have to really take control of ourselves and our own future so that we're ready. Absolutely. Absolutely. To get ready. Hey, Autumn, welcome in. So that's sort of what we've been talking about lately. And today, like I said, just wanted to really think about goals. And okay, and you don't have to be as aggressive as me, because I'm just an overachiever. And the 12-week year is like one model. It's not the only one. It's just one, like I said, that I find useful, helpful. And for me, because I'm a planner, like by nature, like I like to see a big spreadsheet with like my months, my days. This is what I want to accomplish. And in addition to goals, like I put revenue targets in there. Like if I'm thinking brand deals, and I'll just come up with some rough numbers. For example, like if I want to make a goal of like, I want to earn $5,000 a month in brand deals, then I need to, figure out, okay, what's the average submission? What's the average, offering of that? Oh, thank you, Sepoy, for checking out some items. And really think about that. So I like to attach numbers to it, because it makes it more real. Hey, Clara, thank you for those fest pops. It makes it real that I have a financial target, not just like words on a page. Okay, I want brand deals. Okay, that doesn't say anything. So then, like for me, I'm going to specify like in what fields. Like for me, I know tech. I have to think about some other things. Like I'm a professional person. So like probably some clothing brands and things like that. Thinking about like how to dress for interviews. So I'm thinking about things like that. So it's really thinking about tying that into your niche, because you want your brand deals and folks that you're going to approach, to be, again, related to your niche here on this platform or others. So thinking about that. So it's really narrowing down the goals, not just into what, but then like how am I going to do this? What do I want to achieve? And then really thinking about like, how much time can I dedicate to this thing? Hey, Made in DC, welcome in. Like, how much time can I devote to doing this thing? And so again, it could just be if you focus on one goal for the year, that is fine. And something that I say, and even if you don't have a lot of time, one rule that I like to use is called the 1% better rule. And it's really simple. It's just saying take one action every single day towards the goal you're trying to achieve. And so that's easy, right? It's just one thing, whatever that looks like. If it's getting a new job, then one thing could be, okay, let me look at my LinkedIn page today. Like, is it updated? Like, what do I need to change? Do you need more recommendations? Do you need more skills categories listed? Do you need a better picture on LinkedIn? Like, do you need to clean it up? Do you need to maybe edit some of the jobs, on how it looks and how it reads? One thing could be looking at your resume, even if you don't make changes. If you thinking about you want to, change your resume and do it really different, you can, go through some resume exercises. Actually, I think I'm going to talk about a little bit about that next week, but I'll give you a little sort of an exercise I do, and it's twofold. So one is called a life resume. And so what that is basically you're going to take a sheet of paper, you're going to draw a line down the middle. And so on the one side, you're not listing jobs here, you're listing roles, meaning, let's see, if you were like the secretary of like your fraternity, secretary. One that I use, like, and you don't have to go back to high school, but this is an easy one for me to illustrate an example. So like back in high school, I was the editor of a high school yearbook. So like on the role side, I would put editor of yearbook. And on the other side, you're writing the transferable skills. Like what skills did you learn or master? So for me, being an editor, it was a couple things. For one, it improved my writing skills, editing skills, and also creative skills. It is what it is. Hey, it is what it is. Welcome in. Creative writing, because what happens with editing and a yearbook, like I'll get 500 pictures like dumped on my desk. Now I have to write captions for that. So I have to look at this picture and create the story to tell. And even when I think about content now, like I feel like it's the same thing, because I may have an idea in my head of what I want to talk about. And then that creativity comes in and like, how do I say it? How do I create an engaging hook so that I really hook, my audience? What's my offering going to be that reels them in? And then the call to action. And I mean, not bragging, y'all, but I think I'm getting better at it. I did a piece of content yesterday with lip gloss and following another creator, Aaliyah Rose, if you've heard of her. Aaliyah talks about movement on the screen when you're creating content as a hook. And so, and a lot of her videos, she puts on lip gloss. And I used to always wonder before she mentioned this, like, why is she always putting on lip gloss in her videos? But she talked about it. It's movement and it's a hook. So again, just thinking about like getting better at whatever it is you're trying to do and just doing one thing. And like, even for content creation, like, so Sepoy, I'm gonna tell our business right now. How Sepoy and I became besties on TikTok. We both follow creator Monster Mara. She's a live pro. And she had a challenge of doing 25 videos a day. And so I think Sepoy had made a comment like, okay, Monster was like, okay, can I get some accountability partners? And I think Sepoy had messaged like, oh yeah, I'm in. So then I messaged Sepoy directly saying, hey, I'm in too. Let's be accountability partners. Y'all, we ain't even do one, right? I did 9 videos that first day, and y'all, it almost took me out, okay? So we didn't even make it one day. But there's value. Hey, Butterfly Effects, welcome in. But there's value in quantity. Remember, this is an algorithm. So part of my goals is going to be like trying to push out. Sepoy, are you ready? I'm not going to say 9, but in perfect world, if I can push out 5 pieces of content a day, for me, I feel like that's a sweet spot for me. So that's going to be a goal. And so for me, 1% every day is okay. Let me at least script out 5, even if I don't get to record. Okay, let me script out 5 today. Maybe tomorrow I do that. Batch recording works good for me, y'all. I don't know if y'all have ever done that. Okay, Butterfly Effects. Oh, you do? Oh, you're going for 4 to 5 too. Yeah, I think that's a sweet spot without being like too overwhelming and driving us all too crazy. Because I'm gonna tell you, that day I did 9. Oh, like I said, it almost took me out. It was a lot. It was a lot. But I tend to batch record on the weekend. So, and following Aaliyah Rose, she said, get you 5 shirts, script it all out, and you just sit there and you record 15 to 25 pieces of content, and every 4 or 5 videos you change your shirt and change maybe where you are, change your movement, change something to do that. And then now, which is great, TikTok will allow us to schedule the content so you can, changing them clothes. Exactly. And so I do that on the weekend. So that works good for me. And it may not work for everybody, but yeah, I batch record on the weekend. Then I'm not like during the week frantic about, oh my God, I haven't came up with some content. What am I going to do? So again, just think about like, what's that maybe one thing you can do, even if you can't do a full, thank you, Butterfly Effects, for the best gear. Even if you can't do nothing as radical as the 12-week year, just focus on maybe just one thing every single day that moves you closer towards achieving that goal, and we'll all, you'll get there eventually. Hey, Ben. So I am super excited to again start preparing for 2026, which is like we days in now. So that's what I'm doing for the next couple of weeks, is figuring out what I want to do with my life. Butterfly Effects, I talked about one of ours is brand deals. We've been talking about those brand deals. And truly just getting it. And being more successful on this platform, and just whatever that looks like for you. So folks, start really thinking about that. And again, if you can't do anything as crazy, if you join late, the 12-week year is a book and a system that I follow, and it's aggressive, so it's not necessarily for everybody. And you may want to stretch yours out maybe for 24 weeks versus 12 weeks. But basically, how the system is set up is that you can achieve, it's designed for you to achieve a year's worth of goals in the first 3 months, in every 12 weeks. So in theory, like in 1 year's time, you can achieve the goals of 4 years. Thank you, Ben, for the heart me. So again, that's something that's aggressive. The book is in my showcase if you want to check it out. It is, like I said, it's a great system that I follow, and it just works for me, but you have to find what works for you. But again, if that's way too aggressive, just stick with the 1% better rule, just doing one thing every single day towards achieving that goal, and you'll get there. And so we got to get ready. Misha's birthday battle is today. For those of you, I talk about Mish stories all the time. And that is truly my homeroom. I learned that term from Aaliyah Rose. It's like, where do you spend the most of your time learning about how to do this TikTok thing? It's at 8 o'clock, Butterfly. I think she's going live at 7:30 to start warming up the room and getting people in, but the battle's at 8. Yes, I'm going to join in. I'm in my live shortly and pop in the room. And her birthday is today. So her battle's at 8 o'clock. So I wanted to also talk about, I scheduled a live event. It's in my profile for a vision board party on the 14th. It's 2 Sundays from now at 1 p.m. And it's something that I love and do all the time. And there's just so much that I've learned since I've been doing vision boards. Oh my God, probably since the book The Secret came out. So that was probably maybe 20 years ago, 15, 20 years ago. I'm just a nerd, so I'm always reading and studying, but just really learning about like the power of visualization. And like affirmations are good, and meditation is good, but there's really an energy shift with visualizing the thing. And honestly, I can say like a lot of things on my vision board have definitely come to pass. There's still some things I'm waiting on, like where's this dream house? But I know it's coming. Like I have the picture of it. I know exactly how I want it to look. And so it's on the way. But yeah, so we're going to do a vision board party on the 14th. Like I said, the link is in my profile. It's a live event. We're going to do it right here live. I'm going to actually do a piece of content and create a product list for people that haven't done them before. Yeah, exactly. Manifesting. And I have done that, and a lot of people think I'm a little crazy, a little woo-woo, but the things have realized too. So I know that this is something that definitely works. And like, I mean, I can get all nerdy because there's a whole thing about neuroscience and energy, about how energy isn't, created or destroyed. It's just transfer from one thing. It's a whole thing. And I won't bore you with all of that, but I know that it is real and I know that it works. So I definitely want to dive into that. That's something we can begin to plan out our 2026 year visually. So looking forward to doing that on the 14th. Whew, okay. And yeah, it is so real, Clara. Hey, Hannah, welcome in. It is such a real thing. And like I said, I have so many, I haven't kept all the vision boards from the past, but I have pictures of all of them from when I started, like I said, probably 15 years ago. And I look back at them often now and it's like, check, check, check. Okay, that didn't happen yet. Okay. But yeah, but it's just good to see. And clearly it works. And it's really talks about how, like, with your brain, and I'm just going to give you a little bit of nerdism. Like when you're visualizing, your brain can't distinguish between what's a dream and sort of what's real. Like, is this something that is currently happening or is this something you're visualizing? So what ends up happening is that the brain then gets triggered to look for opportunities and things that can help move that vision, what you're visualizing, into reality. So it can be something like, if I'm thinking about brand deals, which I am, and like, I love my car and I want a new car. And so I'm going, I need to figure out how to do that with the car deals and how to do that. But yeah, I'm fine with driving a car that I don't have to pay for, that even if they got name and marketing slapped on it, give it to me. But yeah, it really does, Butterfly. Like, it's so much powerful about the mindset. And like, it's so, so many times, like when people like, just give me the interview tips. And yes, I can give you all the interview tips in the world. But if your mind is not in the right, that mindset, if you're not in the right frame of mind to truly attract and also deliver what you want, like, it's not going to be successful. And I think a lot of people, I don't know if it's that they don't really know a lot about mindset work, or if it's just something that maybe hasn't come up, or maybe some people don't believe it, because a lot of people will be like, oh, that's a little too woo-woo out there for me. And that's real too, and that's real too. But I'm all into the woo-woo and I'm making things happen. So I'm gonna just keep doing what I've been doing. And I know that it definitely, it works, and we keep moving forward. And yeah, I feel like I am talked out. Y'all, this has been a week. I shared yesterday, in the last 4 days, I have been on a plane, train, automobile, and a boat. Your girl's tired. But I definitely wanted to come on live. I'm not a 5-7 day a week live person. I don't think I'm built for that. I don't think I'm ready. But I'm definitely trying to get more consistent. So I'm now going to start going live Monday through Thursday at 7 p.m. And then I'm going to do pop-ups on the weekend. I think Fridays at some point might be Friday or Saturdays might be. Saturday, I think I want to be shoppable. But I think Fridays might be a battle day. I love battling, y'all. And so I need to figure out like how to build a battle team. So that's something I'm thinking about. So again, just goals. And just going to start putting them on paper and putting some plans and dedicated time to achieving them, and, see where the universe takes me. I hope you all are doing the same and just thinking about what's ahead, so we can just keep this train moving and keep elevating and keep resetting. And so that we get all, that we desire. Clara, Miss Rhonda, have a good night. Have a good night, Clara. I have been falling asleep. I haven't been getting to Mama Lupe's room, but I'm going to try to get there tonight. That's right, Seapoy. Amen. That we are all in this journey together, and we are all going to keep striving towards, getting all that we want and desire. Thank you, Seapoy, for the confetti. And what a beautiful way to end. Thank you all for your time. I hope I've said something that, hey, QD the Realtor. I hear y'all talk about visualization. QD is in North Carolina, and that's where I want to retire to. So look, I already got my realtor together, so I'm ready. Yeah, thank you all for your time. I hope I've said something that have inspired you, made you think, gave you a thought and idea towards elevating and resetting. And that's sort of what I feel like my purpose is here to do. And I'm excited to and love doing this. But yeah, I will see you all, I don't know, sometime this weekend. But you'll see me around in all the rooms because I be running these TikTok streets. I'll see you all soon. Have a good night.